Why I don't get along with other repair shop owners. It's not much of a secret that I've never really liked people who own car repair shops. It's probably why I got into the business in the first place. But I think that there's an interesting story here, more so than anything, that I want to share with you guys, that it might help you better interact with other people that you may have to use for your services, or why why you should be careful. And there will probably be another video elaborating on some of the moral lessons that I've learned dealing with these people after this. So I'm by no means better than anybody else. I still own a repair shop. I have to look at my bottom line. I have to take into consideration what I'm making every month, what I bring in, what I pull in from repairs. And there's some people out there that may say I'm not very nice. There are other people that might say our services are very expensive. Well, it's true. They can be, and I'm at a point now where I never thought I'd have to charge this much to do this kind of work, because if I could, I would do it for free, but I can't, and this is reality. But there's this very specific reason why I just don't get along with certain other repair shop owners, and a lot of them are, they're boomers. Nothing against you boomers, because I know that you're about 50% of my audience, but the truth is that the guy that typically owns a repair shop falls into one of two categories. The guy who is really motivated by a very specific mission, which is usually the person I can empathize with, and the person who's in it because repair shops are money printing machines. And there's a specific type of repair shop owner I don't like. Usually it's the kind of guy that runs a general repair shop. A repair shop that'll fix anything. They say, oh, such and such foreign cars, and they put foreign and domestic auto repair. You go there and you see a few Mercedes and BMWs and Audis, that you may also see some Chevy pickups, because our mechanics can fix anything. You might go there and see that they service transmissions, but at the same time they are willing to do an engine overhaul if necessary. And the type of person who gets themselves into this mess is the person who opened a repair shop to do one thing: to fix cars and make money. Does it mean the car is going to be 100% fixed? No. This is the kind of shop where they do 30 minutes of work and charge you for 2.5 hours. The kind of shop where if you have a warranty issue and you go back, you're going to get sidelined because they don't want to have to give away any free time, hoping that the car that they did such bad repairs on will magically fix itself. And this is usually the kind of shop where they get right into the throwing parts of the car as part of the diagnostic process, where you actually get billed for having parts thrown at your car that probably didn't fix anything. This is the kind of shop that would take a 1989 560 SL that has an ignition misfire and throw a set of injectors at it, a fuel distributor, an EHA valve, a set of brand new brimmy spark plug wires, charge list price for everything, and then when the car doesn't run right after the whole thing is done, they still bill you $6,000 for repairs anyway. And maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe I get really annoyed with people that just love money so much that even though they're making $1 million a year, they act like making a 2 or 3 hour labor concession to fix their mistake is going to be the end of the world. There's probably another reason why we have such a labor shortage here too, and it's because I've never gotten along with typical mechanics. The typical mechanic like this, or typical repair shop owner, is always looking at what they can make on the job first. Which job is going to yield me the most money? They don't look at how much faith the customers put in them to resolve the issue. And maybe some customers are apprehensive about dealing with them, because what they try to do is polish the apple, but when you bite into it, it's a plastic apple. It's not even an apple. It's the repair shop that promises that they can fix your car, but doesn't do anything. Now, do I have a plastic apple? I mean, maybe I'm too helpful with my customers, and when I go out and look at their cars and say, yeah, I can't see your car for 8 to 10 months, it sounds like a plastic apple type of moment. But, at least the plastic apple eventually becomes a real apple. The past year of my life is very difficult, though. Having to raise a child with no help because of COVID, from no parents, no friends, essentially me and Elaine raising a baby by herself. I got really behind. There were a lot of appointments I should have uptaken in the past year that I just couldn't make. Why? Because having a baby is a priority that supersedes all other priorities. And if I have another baby, I guess I get to say that again. But, you know, the repair shop that is too eager to take in a car and then lets it sit around forever and ever outside, I think is still guilty of the greater sin. Some of these guys who run repair shops, they will be so pleasant and so nice to you, but then when you start to talk about warranty jobs or, oh, you know, you didn't do this right, could you look at it again? Or how come you guys did such a terrible job the last time? Maybe you could make it a little better. They start to get really gruff and angry. They shut you down. They're even willing to get a lawyer and countersue you if you try to sue them for not taking responsibility for the problem in the first place. And I realize when people show up and they're happy and excited about their Mercedes, that's a very fragile thing. It has to be guarded and protected. Because what I don't want is to turn somebody's smile into a frown and into anger and rage and frustration because their expectations weren't necessarily met. Now, I realize this happens a lot in the classic car world. And some people can't be pleased at all. I think of my customer that I sorted out the fin car for. He can never be pleased. He just was never going to be happy with anything I did. I could never work fast enough or make the car good enough for him. And at the end of the day, he was never going to follow my instructions. But there are other customers where if you take care of them and you nurture the relationship with them, they're always going to be your customer. That person is going to be loyal to you no matter how far away they are. And that's something you shouldn't take for granted. It's a relationship you can't buy no matter how many parts you throw at a car, you know. I think of all the angry boomer repair shop owners who are red-faced alcoholics who make millions of dollars a year and yet for some reason they're never happy. Maybe they're never happy because they can't sleep at night. Maybe they're never happy because the end of life is not about material possessions. Material possessions aren't even really a great means to an end. They're just a means of temporarily satisfying yourself when in reality you have a giant void in the middle because you just don't treat people right and you've made money the god and center of your life. And if I ever become that way, I invite anybody they want to beat the living crap out of me because I don't want to be that person. Although there are times when I've come off as that person when somebody can't afford our services. The only reason I get upset is because they're customers who are willing to pay us for our services fairly, and I shouldn't deprioritize them and prioritize somebody who can't play the game. Anyway, just some words for thought. Our next video is going to be about why I think money is such a horrible thing to become too attached to. And hopefully I don't watch that video when I'm 50 years old and go, what happened to me? But please like, share, and subscribe and tap the bell for notifications and try to avoid dealing with repair shop owners that are just complete assholes if you want your Mercedes to run right and you don't want to create more problems for guys who know what they're doing later. Thank you so much. See you in the future.